Coming up, we stop in Minnesota to visit this artist in Lake Park. His new clay creation will really rope you in.
Hello, my name is Gaylen Peterson, and I'm from Lake Park, Minnesota.
This is my family, my 3 daughters, Elizabeth, Megan, and Kate, my wife, Kristen. When I'm not busy being a dad and an art teacher,
I'm up to my elbows in clay. Today, I'll be making this rope-textured wood-fired vase.
I'm ready to throw some pots. Welcome to my studio. It's a retired blacksmith shop that I've overhauled into the perfect place to work with clay. The first thing I need to do is cut an 8-pound piece of clay and wedge it to ensure that it's consistent. I use a spiral technique when wedging the clay, which is easily recognizable by the repeated pattern here at the base. It effectively removes the air and compresses the clay, making it ready to use. My clay is wedged, and I'm ready to go to the wheel. Time to smack it down and center it on the wheel. Clay is centered, and I'm ready to open it up and make my initial pulls, getting the height needed for my form. Always love to be elbow deep in clay. Now that I have the height I need, I'm ready to expand it out into the shape I want. I like to use a rib to smooth out the contours of the shape. I'm going to collar in just a little bit around the lip to create a cast shadow. What I love about working with clay is how easily it's formed while it's wet, but how permanent it is once it's fired. Now that I have the shape that I want, I'm ready to draw on some guidelines to prepare for the application of the rope texture. I like to use a wood modeling tool to do the drawings on my pots. I'm going to use this 3-inch piece of hemp rope and repeatedly roll it down the side of my piece to apply the rope texture. The rope texture is finished. Now I need to mix up and brush on a thin coat of slip. This slip is a liquid clay that has a lighter color in contrast to the clay of the original piece. The slip has been applied, and now I'm ready to set this piece aside to dry for about an hour. The piece is dry, and I'm ready to impress vertical lines on the side of the pot using this wooden straight edge. Now that the vertical lines have been applied, I'm ready to trim the foot using my wood modeling tool and cut the piece loose from the wheel. The piece has been cut loose from the wheel and is now ready to be set aside for 2 or 3 days to dry. This piece is bone dry and ready to be bisque fired to a temperature of 1,891 degrees over the course of 12 hours. My vase has been bisque fired, and I'm now ready to glaze the interior. I'm going to pour glaze into my vase and roll it out to create an evenly glazed surface on the interior. The interior has been glazed to contrast with the exterior, which will be decorated by the flame and the carbon of the wood fire. It's time to stoke up the wood fire. This is my wood-fired kiln. I've glued some pieces of wadding to the base of my pot to keep it from sticking to the kiln shelf in the firing process. I'm going to place the piece, the door will be closed up, and I'll begin stoking in the firebox. I'll add wood to the firebox, light it, and continue stoking over the course of the next 12 hours to the target temperature of 2,350 degrees. I love the wood-fired kiln for the subtle variation in color on the surface of the pots, directly resulting from the flame and the carbon in the atmosphere. This vase has been wood-fired, and I'm very pleased with the end result. The glazing on the inside turned out great. The wood ash settled nicely on the shoulder of the vase. Both the slipped area and the base clay picked up some nice blushing from the flame and the carbon in the atmosphere. It's amazing. My rope-textured wood-fired vase is finished.
Everywhere we go, we find talented crafters hard at work on the next great project. Guess what? You've just seen 3. Be sure to join us again next time and find out what America's crafting on That's Clever.